morning, Mr. Fugelsang. How are you?
You guys just want to mock Herschel Walker. What about teaching Herschel Walker to read? What about teaching Herschel Walker to write? What about teaching Herschel Walker to not beat your wife and hold a loaded gun to her head? Huh? What about teaching Herschel Walker these things?
How about teaching him not to have so many children from so many different women?
Do you think when Herschel Walker...
We don't even know how many secret children Herschel Walker has had since this segment began 2 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Yep. Do you think that when Herschel Walker says woke, he just means that they had to woke up and go to school as opposed to something else?
I feel he just needs help. I just want him to not be doing what he's doing. I mean, you said earlier, John, that he should be the face of the Republican Party, but I would rather have Warnock.
Yeah. Oh, I'd rather have Warnock. I'm just saying Warnock deserves to be the senator. Herschel deserves to be the face of the Republican Party.
Yes.
Because the man makes me ashamed to be a wife beater with a head injury.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just
for all of us.
Yeah. He is ruining it for all of us. It's no more fun.
The wife beater with head injury community, we are really embarrassed, and we do not take Herschel Walker as one of our own.
It's fair.
Fair. It's very, 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 very fair. So, Trump's Truth Central has lost the vote to go to public, which is fun because that's the only way he's going to have money is if they go public. Apparently, there's this. Instead of pursuing a traditional IPO, they decided to merge with a blank check company that's already listed on NASDAQ.
Of course they did.
And apparently that's not going to happen. I love that.
I love that Devin Nunes left to go
board,
do this.
Correct? He left the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor Devin.
I mean, Devin. But you know what? If a Truth Social falls in the forest and no one's there to read it, was there any racism? It's hard to say.
Well, I mean, his Twitter following had...
I saw this number. This shocked me, Jody, this number.
He had 89 million followers on Twitter, but he only has 4 million on Truth Central.
Well, that's not really too much of a surprise. I mean, what's the point in getting all the haters together in one place where they can't hate other people? They've only got each other. There's no fun for these trolls being in a place where there's not nice people who can spell the word "your" correctly. So they need to go back to Twitter to hate, then they just go back to Truth Social to nest.
Yeah. There you go. That's exactly what it is. And you tweeted about this, and this is just mind-boggling to me, that a Texas judge ruled companies can deny coverage for drugs that prevent HIV after a Christian company complained that covering those drugs makes them, quote, complicit in facilitating homosexual behavior. HIV is not a homosexual disease.
No, Thank you, Jody. HIV actually has no sexual orientation. And a lot of right-wing people, like my friend Michael Knowles, don't seem to understand that it's not just promiscuous gay men who get it. And by the way, that's the phrase, promiscuous gay men. Now, this is America, right? Promiscuous in this country means anybody getting more than you. That's promiscuous.
True.
But it's amazing. They say they don't want to be complicit in homosexual behavior, so they've decided to not be complicit in Christian behavior. Mm-hmm. You're literally denying life-saving drugs from your own employees because you're so Christian.
These Christians never follow, like you have said on multiple occasions, that they never follow Jesus's teachings. They really like the Old Testament more than the New Testament.
Mm-hmm. Well, and St. Paul, there's a misogynist in the New Testament they can follow it, and the Book of Revelation, they're which is like a Book of Revelation's a prequel for the Left Behind books. So these are the parts of the Bible they like: the Golden Calf, the Book of Leviticus. The parts of Paul that can be homophobic, the Revelation, and then duct taped to a Left Behind book. That's their Bible. You don't need to believe any of the Bible to use all of it against right-wing Christians, my friends. They don't fight for anything the character of Jesus talked about. So that's my ongoing mission, is to mock Christian nationalism, because Christian nationalism's having a really good year, guys, and it's up to all of us, atheist and believer alike, to thump the Bible thumpers with the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Marco Rubio, hopefully Val Demings will unseat him. He can just start quoting, start living by what he quotes.
He can go back to being a youth pastor for all I care.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
The cool one.
No, I think he'll be a sleazy lobbyist who pretends he's better than other people. Sorry, I just that's how I see it playing out.
And still quoting Matthew all the time.
He never quotes Matthew. He rarely quotes the Bible. I quoted Matthew back at him. He quoted Book of Matthew, which is really where Jesus gives his marching orders. It's where Jesus says he will gather individuals and nations. That's very important. He's gathering nations and laying down, if you're going to follow Jesus, his orders are, you take care of the poor, you take care of the sick, you welcome the stranger, and you're kind to those in prison. 4 things Republicans don't want to hear. So when Marco Rubio was quoting that, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was homeless and you took me in. I was like, I was an immigrant and you walked away from your own reform bill.
Yeah.
I was poor and you cut taxes for a rich guy. You know, let them use scripture all they want, but their real religion is criminalizing abortion and pretending they're better than you.
Right.
That's their religion. So again, that's the great thing about the Bible. You don't need to believe it to use it against these frauds. I will be funnier tomorrow, by the way, in D.C.
We will.
Yes, D.C. is tomorrow. In fact, we have Melissa. Hopefully I can answer her because I'm doing it from home. Come on.
There we go.
There we go. Hi, Melissa. So you're going to go to D.C. tomorrow?
I am. I am driving on the 95 North right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Road trip.
I'm so excited that you're going. It's going to be so much fun. You'll get to, or do you have VIP? Or are you going to get to do the meet and grope so that you can grope Chris and John?
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to it. And Glenn Kirshner.
Yeah.
Right.
Hubba
He's the
hubba.
secret weapon, I'm telling you.
What part of Virginia are you driving up from? What part of Virginia are you driving up from?
Central, east between Richmond and Virginia Beach, that area.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I know that area well. That's where I grew up. I worked at Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
You went to Busch Gardens? You worked at Busch Gardens?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I went there all the time as a kid.
I went there once, and I also went to Busch Gardens in St. Louis. Isn't there one in St. Louis as well?
No, there's one in Tampa.
You sure?
There might have been just
Missouri?
there might have been some like
there's not a Busch Gardens in St. Louis. There's an arts scene in St. Louis. An arts scene.
Well, there used to be one in Van Nuys here in Los Angeles for a
There
little
did. I went to that one
Yeah.
for sure when I was a kid. I remember it seeming so far away.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this show tomorrow and to see you, Chris. This will be the first time, Jody, that the original Sexy Liberal tour lineup of Stephanie, me, and Hal has done a show in 9 years.
That's right.
So it's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of all the sexual tension Hal and I share. Don't miss it. It'll be really special.
Well, you have competing hair.
Not anymore.
Hal has hair. I have a pandemic mullet.
Yeah.
You understand? Hal has a luxurious mane, and I look like Beethoven had sex with Loki.
Hal was on Good Morning Washington on Channel 7 there in D.C. yesterday morning, and he had it pulled back, but every once in a while you'd see the big ponytail flopping around.
See the giant ponytail?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
His hair's almost as long as mine at this point.
His hair looks great. My hair was longer than yours. I've cut 13 inches off my hair in the cut 13 inches. Take that, Moyles. 13 inches cut off in the last year because I look like a goth country singer. So this is the shortest it's been for me in a while.
Yeah, it was longer than Katie Lang's ever got.
Much longer than KD Lang.
You couldn't even pull that off anymore. So Steve Bannon, poor guy.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. He's melting down because people are persecuting him.
Yeah.
Aww. I mean, good Lord, he's.
I'm sorry. By persecuting, you mean holding him responsible for ripping off Trump supporters? That's what you mean.
I believe that's what he meant by persecution. I do believe that he will actually serve prison time finally.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll say about the feds, they do go after the least likable of the Trump figures. They're going after Bannon. They're going to go after Navarro. I don't think they're going to go after Meadows. They won't go after any seated congressmen. I don't think they're going to ever put Donald Trump in jail. But yeah, Steve Bannon, we have to stipulate this whole incident is separate from what he's going to jail for. For
the contempt, yes.
This is a completely different set of malfeasance where Steve was ripping off the True Believer MAGAs by donating to the Build the Wall campaign. Now, obviously, if you want to stop illegal immigration, you don't build a wall. You take down the Help Wanted sign at our border.
Correct.
You arrest the white people who do the hiring, like Donald Trump, but they don't want to stop illegal immigration. They want to get votes from racists, and they want to get money from racists. So they had the Build the Wall campaign. Donald Trump pardoned no one who was involved in the terrorist attack of January 6th, but he pardoned Steve Bannon for ripping off the true MAGA believers. In a Satan society, that would be all you need to convince your uncle racist that the Trump organization is not your friend. In the meantime, we'll get to watch Steve Bannon do 2 different trials, and that's great for me because I love watching Steve on TV. He's an attractive man. You might have noticed yesterday he was wearing 3 shirts at the courthouse. He always does that. That's so when he vomits up Jägermeister, he can just take that one off and have a clean one right underneath.
Well, Chris said he looks like got monkeypox at this point.
At this point, he looks like a police sketch artist rendition of the gonorrhea virus. We're just worried about Steve Bannon. I've said it before, not to be mean, we just care a lot. He looks like gout that caught gout.
Yep.
Yeah.
He looks like a sack of pus that's developing rickets. And we only say this because we care. We want him to get the help he needs because he looks like a guy who was watching porn till 6:45 a.m. and his alarm was set for 7.
Well, I think that once he goes to prison, he will get the health care that he needs.
Well, isn't that the great thing about it? I mean, you can get a job and health care and housing.
Yeah. And how exactly? He's 3 square.
Yeah.
3 square a day. I mean, I wish they had thrown him into, which I don't like, Rikers Island. I think that should be closed down. But put him with Weisselberg. They could have, shared a room at Rikers because Weisselberg's still there, right? Isn't he in?
Couldn't you imagine the stories those two could tell?
Weisselberg's not going to. Well, no, Weisselberg will do a couple of months at the most ritzy Fed country club.
I thought they were going to send him to Rikers for 100 days.
I'd be very. I mean, if he does, he'll be in protective custody. I'd be very surprised if someone that wealthy winds up in Rikers. Thrilled, but I'd be very surprised if it actually happens.
Isn't that where Epstein ended up? He ended up dying at Rikers, didn't he?
I'm sorry, who?
Didn't Epstein end up dying at Rikers?
I don't think he was in Rikers. No, he was in a different prison.
Okay.
Where sometimes the security cameras just get switched off and no one knows why.
Yeah.
Isn't it great when you find the things that liberals and conservatives can agree on, like Epstein was killed, who cares about the royal family? There are things out there.